Okay, well, hello. Today we are doing problems number 3 and 4. So, number 3 says Trey and 5 friends take turns trying to break open a piñata that has 152 pieces of candy in it. If the friends share the candy equally, how many pieces of candy will be left over? So, we're looking for the remainder here. And I do want to point out that these 152 pieces of candy, they're being shared amongst 6 people. It's divided by Trey and his 5 friends. Now, I want to point out this doesn't always happen, but a lot of times people look at this, they see the 5 and the 152. They'll divide 152 by 5, get the remainder, put their answer. Well, here actually you get the same answer whether you divide 152 by 6 or by 5, but that doesn't normally happen. So I just wanted to point out the importance of reading the question and realizing what you're doing. So we're dividing the 152 pieces of candy by 6, the 6 friends. So we know 6 doesn't go into 1, but 6 does go into 15 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. 15 take away 12 is 3. We bring down the 2. 6 goes into 32 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. 32 take away 30 is 2. That's what's left over. That's our remainder of 2. So the answer here is B. 2 pieces will be left over. And again, if you did divide 152 by 5, you will happen to get a remainder of 2 as well. Okay, let's go to number 4. It says 3 friends made a 12-piece quilt for the state fair. Inez sewed half of the quilt. Betty sold 4/12 of the quilt, and Cass sewed 2 pieces. The question asks which friend sewed the most pieces and explain. So first of all, I just want to point out the total amount of pieces for the quilt is 12. So that becomes our denominator because remember when we have a fraction, the denominator, that equals the total. And here the numerator, that equals the part of the total. So now we're going to go through and we're just going to see for each person, we have Inez, Betty, and Cass, how many parts of the total they sewed to see which friend sewed the most pieces. So we'll start with Inez. And it says she sewed half of the quilt. Well, half, we'll make our equivalent fraction. Half of 12, that's 6. So 1/2, we make the equivalent fraction. 2 times 6 gives you 12. So we'll do 1 times 6. That's 6. So Inez she sewed 6 pieces. And we know Betty already told us, Betty sewed 4/12. So 4 out of 12 pieces. So far we see Inez sewed more than Betty. And then Cass, it tells us, she sewed 2 pieces. So she is just 2 out of 12. So who sold them? I keep saying sold like they're selling these. Who sewed the most pieces? It's Inez. So Inez sewed the most pieces because she sewed 6 pieces. Betty sewed 4. And Cass sewed 2.